Order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sonia, if you do roll call.
Commissioner Digital,
Here.
Commissioner Wire,
Here.
Commissioner Shaw,
Here.
Commissioner Corbin,
Here.
and Mayor Lindsay.
Here. You have before you the agenda for this evening.
Motion to, we have to adopt agenda with the change.
Yes, so I can make that announcement. So we missed from the agenda, the first reading of ordinance 1657, so this wouldn't be final approval. This is the rezoning ordinance that requires a second approval. We've got Brittany here with us from the Flower Shop. So I would encourage you to make amendment to add first reading of ordinance 1657 to the first item of new business.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no appearances or acknowledgements, we now have the oath of office for Adam and Jeray. Sonia,
You two want to repeat after me?
We have to stand up.
Yeah, you have to stand up. Take occasion.
I do have a copy of it.
yes,
Zach, where's your camera?
We have to use the iPhone to
I'm just giving you a hard time.
We will get a picture though. We do want that. I'll be slacking on my job.
Stage it at one.
I'm gonna raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Commissioner for the City of Madison,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Commissioner for the City of Madison,
Lake County, to the best of my ability,
Lake County, to the best of my ability,
and that I am not under any direct or indirect obligation
and that I am not under any direct or indirect obligation
to appoint or elect any person to any office,
to appoint or elect any person to any office,
position, or employment under the government of the municipality.
position, or employment under the government of the municipality.
Thank you, guys.
okay, thank you, gentlemen. And now that you've both been sworn in again, Adam, I'll ask you if you'll carry on the remainder of the agenda because you are in-house.
Okay, sounds good. So we're to the consent calendar. Does anybody have anything they want taken out of the consent calendar? Or do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented?
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Motion's been made,
Second.
seconded by Kelly. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. New business. We're gonna go to the first reading of ordinance 1657.
This ordinance is a rezoning ordinance. It has received recommendation for approval by the planning commission unanimously. And it is to rezone the recently annexed property from R90, which is single family residence, to agricultural district. And this would be for the flower shop on the south side of the bypass. It was annexed 1 or 2 meetings ago. And the next step is to rezone it. Again, this is the first reading of the rezoning ordinance. There'll be a second one. It is in line with what our engineering department recommends for zoning for this new property, and it is in line with the use of a flower shop and greenhouse in the agricultural district. Brittany, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Not unless you need me to.
That's all I got.
So we have to have a motion on the first reading. We'll need a motion on the first reading of ordinance 1657.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1657.
Motion by Kelly,
Second.
second by Jeray. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number, will be 2 on our list, adopt resolution 2023-14, power and duties of the mayor and commissioners.
Each year, we pass a resolution that sets the responsibilities for our 5 elected officials, since we just had new ones re-sworn in or re-elected. There are no changes from last year, and so we have the same outline for not just the areas like public safety and utilities, but also for all the boards and committees that are elected officials. No changes from last year.
We need a motion to adopt the resolution 2023-14, powers and duties of the mayor and commissioners.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2023-14. Power and duties of the mayor and commissioners.
Motion by Jure,
Second.
second by Kelly. Any further discussion? Get your chance, get it changed, one last chance. Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 3, award bid number 920. Airport improvements AIP number 3-46-0029-024-2023. BIL/AIG number 3-46-0029-025-20223.
I missed that number. If you repeat that. So this is a bid award for airport improvements. So generally each year or so, we have a variety of improvements out at the airport. The improvement schedule for 2023 consists of reconstructing hangar taxi lanes, as well as reconstruction of Airport Drive and the parking lot up to the airport. This project was bid, the bids were opened almost 2 months ago, and so we have 60 days to accept or award them. And that's why it is on tonight's agenda. It has been delayed from those 60 days because we have been waiting on determination from additional funding that's been requested from the FAA. And we do not expect to have that determination yet by the time that 60 days is up. So we need to take some kind of action on the bids that are awarded. There were 4 different bids received, 4 different schedules bid, and the recommendation is to award to Asphalt Surfacing Company from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in the amount of $694,692.06. This was under the engineer's estimate of about $773,000, which is good news. However, it is still exceeding the amount that we originally had for funding, hence the additional funding request. Moving forward, we got a couple options depending on what happens. If it's awarded today for the full amount of what's needed to accomplish this project, and we do not receive the additional funding, we'll need to have some kind of change order to either reduce the scope or to, I guess, a change order to reduce scope on the project, or we'll have to find additional funding locally from the city to fund these improvements. If we do get the additional funding request, then we don't have to worry about any changes to the project. I would note that realistically, it is probably unlikely we'll get the additional funding simply because our project is for items like such as the parking lot and the taxi lanes to the hangar, as opposed to a runway, which is what a lot of other cities who have additional funding requests in for as well. And that's just going to likely have a higher priority than what we've got. So just thinking about it realistically, we're not holding out hope, but we are waiting to see what the final determination is. Ryan, do you want to come up? You have a better understanding of this project. So if I have these numbers correct, the total share, the total local share that we would have is $145,000 if we receive the additional funding. However, if we do not receive additional funding, it is $344,000. So it's a $200,000 difference. The total project again is bid at just under $700,000. Ryan, did I get all that correct?
Yep, you sure did.
Get anything to add?
I did receive an email today on our BIL funding. Everything looked good as far as that goes. And so Aaron sent me an email. Aaron Storm from KLJ had sent an email later in the day talking about this EIP funding, and he does feel as though we will receive some additional amount. It may not be the amount that overcomes $200,000, but he is optimistic that we'll at least receive something.
Thank you. And I'll note that we do have $325,000 available in reserves if needed. Tonight, we're not necessarily making a decision on that. I just want to let you have the full picture in front of you, knowing that even if we award the bid tonight, we'll probably have to have this forward in additional action in the near future. Any questions?
When's the work scheduled to take place?
We have a start date.
We haven't, because we haven't awarded the bid yet, so at that time, then we would set up a pre-construction meeting and then we'll go through the contractor schedule and things like that, so. Don't know yet, I mean, I would assume it would be sometime in June they would start.
There might be, if we have to reduce the scope at a later date, we can look at some logical pieces that we can try removing and bring forward as an option. We've taken an initial look at that. We know there's some pieces we can take out. We don't know if it'd be enough to overtake that full shortfall we've got. But again, I'm happy to hear from Ryan that there might be some option for at least some additional funding, even if it's not the full amount. So at this point, I recommend awarding the bid to the low bidder of Asphalt Surfacing Company, knowing that we'll have to come back in the future likely to address a potential shortfall.
So if we award the bid, that's not gonna hurt us on any of these grant funds, like to receive that.
Oh, no.
Probably the worst thing is if we don't award it, then we have to go back to the starting block, and start all over again. So it's better to award it now and make some changes to it later on than not to do anything at all right now.
Well, either way, we'll probably be revisiting
Yeah, that's like
the total project, what we decided to do.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I guess I can make, I'll make the motion to award bid 920, right?
Yeah, 920, that's fine.
920 to asphalt surfacing for our airport project.
Second,
Motion by Dre, second by Kelly. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, award bid number 923, Water Department Building Renovation Project.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this project we've discussed a couple times this year and on and off for several years. I did provide a written memo to the commission here before the meeting, outlining kind of where we're at, and I'll quickly summarize that. So this is the project that we've been talking about since 2020, and it has been delayed due to multiple reasons, but in the end, it's generally because the cost is higher than expected. And unfortunately, we're in the same boat now than we were a few years ago. This year, we had budgeted $380,000. Now it's based on what we had estimated last year, I suppose, in around the September timeframe when we put together the budget. And the low bid is from Head Construction, the amount of $528,300. So it's certainly significantly higher than what we had budgeted for this year. We did bid this out 2 months ago, and the low bidder at that time was also Head Construction, and that was $560,000. At that time, we decided to reject the bids and rebid with a later timeline. That original timeline was August 1st of this year, and we decided to delay that to February 1st, hoping that there might be some contractors out there looking for some winter work for their crews. And that later February deadline might help with that. Unfortunately, we did not secure any new bidders. We only had the one bid from Head Construction. Fortunately, it is about $35,000 lower, so we did save some money in that way. But we still have a question before us of what we want to do with this project. So the project would be to repurpose a vacant cold storage building on our property to be used for the water distribution and sewer collections department, for storage of inventory materials, equipment, parking of vehicles, not a wash bay. That was the original intent, and some bathroom space as well. From a staff recommendation, I feel we've looked at this project on and off for several years now, and we don't feel that the pricing is going to get any more favorable. And we have a new vac truck that will be delivered sometime this fall, which won't fit in existing space. And so this new space would be needed to fit that truck. With the higher than budgeted amount, since the completion deadline isn't until 2024, we could budget for the remainder in next year's budget to accommodate for it that way. So the staff recommendation is to move forward on this project, knowing that it is needed somewhat urgently for that truck, but in general for a better space for our water department. Stand by for any questions.
And I support the staff's recommendations and that on this. I don't think that in the future, the bids are going to get any less. And the other thing is we've got new equipment and that we're going to have to find a space for if we don't move forward on this. And the other thing I like is that because of the way Jameson has scheduled it, can be, finish part of it in this year's budget and the remainder looked at in next year's budget.
Looking at about 150K into the 2024 budget, the way it looks.
Right, and of course, there might be, from additional from what there's now, there might be the need for some carryover, depending on the timing of the bids.
Probably pre your time, Jameson, what was our intent or plan for that equipment? When we ordered it?
The back truck?
Yes.
A good question. I don't know if I have a good answer. I think this has probably been the plan. The intent is to repurpose the building. And, starting a year ago, when we ordered that equipment, we were budgeting for it to occur this year. And of course, now we're in a situation where that budget amount is not sufficient. Does that answer your question? It's a little bit.
And what we thought we would do with it.
Yeah.
Easing, how much it's gone about from 2020. We should be kicking ourselves. We didn't do it back then, but what do you do? We can't control supply and demand, unfortunately, or inflation. And I think you're exactly right. It's not gonna go down. And we're not gonna, I think we're lucky we went down a little bit here. Yeah, honestly, I can't believe they didn't send it back what they sent it before. I guess I support the staff as well. We gotta have a facility for this thing to park in, and obviously we can't just leave a brand new piece of equipment sitting out in the cold and have it get destroyed. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And that's not the reason. There's other reasons as well, like you mentioned, for that department to move into, spread out. I assume we have plans for that whole area.
Right, so their current area would be reutilized by the streets department, and staff would have more spaces as they'd be moving around in general. In fact, the old space would probably be used as a wash bay. They could take out, they could use it for storage of vehicles, but as needed, they could remove those vehicles and use it as a wash bay for some of the bigger stuff too.
I'll make a motion to award bid number 923 to Ag Construction for $528,300 with the remainder of that, of the $380,000 to be budgeted for 2024.
Motion by Kelly,
I'll second.
second by Jure. Any further discussion?
No, but I think we just need to keep moving forward.
All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Update on the 2023 operations of the Madison Aquatic Center.
So we were here last year talking on more than one occasion about the startup of the pool after, multi-year closure and the difficulty in hiring particularly lifeguards and getting things up and running again. And I'm very happy this year to come to you with a very different story. We've had 28 lifeguards hired, and we haven't even had to advertise or open that position. That's a lot of current staff that work at the indoor pool throughout the year, who are working through the summer, and that's staff in the past year coming back to work for us as well. So the agenda packet included information and overview for operations. That includes a pool season from May 27th to August 19th. The organizational structure is shown there as well. We've got an aquatics coordinator based out of the community center. We'll be overseeing 2 managers, similar to what we have done last year. And then from there, we've got our lifeguards and our cashiers. Sodexo, the food service provider at DSU, is agreed to do the concessions at the MAC again for this year, which we felt worked very well last year. And then we also have our parks department who are overseeing the operations of the mechanics side of the pool and helping to get it cleaned up and running. I know the cover's been removed and they're working on cleaning it now for that May 27th opening in a few weeks. So this is just an overview to highlight what we're expecting for this year. Hours, I should note, are largely the same as last year. The only addition is that they'll be open Thursday night from 6:30 to 8, and that's advertised as a family night. So really focusing on families with young kids that would be going there as a group. And then we're also open evenings again this year, Fridays and Saturdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Swim lessons will be available throughout this summer. I believe a lot of those are going to be inside, but we'll be advertising for those starting up soon. And the rates are included in the agenda packet as well. A small increase from last year, and the staff did a comparison with some other comparable facilities. I think that's kind of a quick overview in short, and we're just very happy to have great staff, and we're happy to have them come back this year and not to have the challenges that we had last year. Anybody for any questions?
I'm just happy we're not dealing with the pool. I'll be very honest with you. It's wonderful that they'll be open and things are where they're at. And it was a long couple of years when we were dealing with that.
So we reduced our hours last year because of staffing. So is like the family night and the general public for Friday, Saturday night, is that new or was that going on last year too?
Good question. So, yeah, the Friday, Saturday was the same as last year as well. So last year we did reduce the hours, and the staffing was a big driving part of that. And when we looked at the hours, we found that in previous years, those evening hours, especially depending on the weather, weren't great attended, didn't have great attendance. So that last year we moved from, they used to have evenings all week long, and we moved it to just Fridays, Saturdays. And that seemed to work really well. It seemed like we still had an opportunity for people to use the facility in the evenings, and we didn't get a lot of pushback or complaints on that. But with the better staffing this year, we are expanding it to that Thursday night to try something new.
Anything else for Jameson on the pool?
No, I agree. It's good not to worry about it.
Public comment?
After this winter, I think everybody's looking forward to being able to use the pool.
Maybe we'll get to use it. We'll see.
Yes.
Rough couple weeks here. Is the pool full yet?
About a week, about 10 days, we'll put water in it.
Okay.
So, the next week they'll come and clean power wash the floor of it. And then we'll start working on the aspect of filling it and get everything balanced out.
Yeah, thanks to you and your crew for getting it up and running again. Appreciate it.
Announcements, the next regular commission meeting will be Monday, May 15th at 5:30. The city finance and utility billing offices will be closed May 8th through May 10th for employee training. If you need to make payments, you can still drop those in the payment box at the utility billing office at City Hall. We are going to go into executive session, South Dakota Codified Law 125(2)(3) for legal. I need a motion to go into executive session.
So move.
Second,
Moved by Dre, second by Kelly. Any objections? Hearing none.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
Carries. Have a good night. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, everybody.
thanks, guys.